We have two types of gray hair of Anna and advanced gray hair. Welcome, viewers. Today, we're going, like I promised, we're going back to the tabloids. Unfortunately, I thought I could get a continuation of a story that was to be continued from December 22nd, 2002. I haven't gotten it. The title was What Men Hate, written by one Rose Hansi. 19th December to 22nd December 2002. I suppose there was a Christmas break and the paper didn't work. But then immediately after that, I haven't seen the paper. I think I didn't buy it. I didn't get it to buy, or I've misplaced it somewhere. So readers, bear with me, or viewers, bear with me. In fact, I'm interested in the story because I think it will help women a lot. It's a good advice for women. However, I'm very much conscious of it. Anytime I lay hands on it, I will draw the attention of viewers to it. So the nearest paper to that date, that's 22nd December 2000, the nearest paper I got is here. And that is that is of January 24th to 27th, 2003. And the price was 1,000 cedis by then. You can imagine buying a paper, ordinary paper like this, and the money is counted in thousands, 1,000. Well, there was a time 1,000 could buy only the water, drinking water. Yes, that is Ghana. Uh, Courtesy IMF, when the money is developed, we suffer most. Mm. And anytime, every year, our prices keep on changing. You buy something for 1,000 today, tomorrow you buy it 2,000 because the money has been devalued. Poor Africa. Anyway, that's by the way. So let's see. Let's go to the papers and see what's there for us. Uh, Man cuts off tongue for dead wife. Sorry. Man cuts off tongue for dead wife. Then the Daddy Lumba poisons Sydney. I think this. Okay, this is Ghanaian first. That's the cover page. We go to page 2, and it is foreign news. Like I usually say, foreign to Ghana, but not foreign to foreigners. They are reading, so those in the foreign lands are reading home news and not foreign news. But we in Ghana are reading foreign news. Yes. So page 2, meet heart horror. Meet heart horror. So the hearts in this picture are made of meat. Can you believe it? People are wasting food and people are starving. Oh yeah, that's the world. That's the world. God hasn't balanced this for us. He has asked us to balance it ourselves. And this is what is happening. We use meat to make hearts, and people are starving elsewhere, crying. The best fed of them are crying in bed or in their rooms. The worst starved to death. Anyway, so this is it. Meat horror. Then I just ate your grandma. Hey, this is a story about cannibalism. About people who dig into graves and remove corpses and eat. How can you eat such rotten things? Oh my God. Then, for better tomorrow, discipline. Maybe this is also a Ghanaian Mara. Then we have, okay, man cuts off tongue. That's the story. The real story is here. Policeman in trouble. For what? We will go to it. Open air sex on Legon campus. That's the University of Legon. Open air sex. Yes, that's where we've reduced ourselves to the level of animals. خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن التقويم ثم رددناه أسفل السافلين. خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن التقويم ثم رددناه في أحسن السافلين. Then we reduce man to the lowest of creation. Hmm? Man, in this case, man has reduced himself to the lowest of creation. Hmm? Open sex, open air sex on the Gon campus. Then cat meat Xmas party foiled. You can see the titles. Cat, the story about cat meat is under. The Legon campus one is a bit above. Mhm. That's page 3. No, no, no. Yeah, that's page 3. We go to page 4. I think it's about women. I think it's about women, about fashion and what do you call it? It's about women. That's page 4. Page 5. Coping with life. Powerful women's tips for success. Who is the writer here? Let's see who the writer is. Oh, it's not been mentioned. Oh, coping with life. Powerful women's tips for success. I don't know if it's the same woman. Hansley or something. I've forgotten the name. Anyway, if I get a writer, I will tell you. Then the coping with life. It has the same title like last week, which is also here. Coping with life. Coping with life. But here the name is mentioned, which is Ruth Hansi. Here, there is no name. Coping with life. Well, it could be the same woman because it says a continuation of that. I don't know. Uh, so, ways you can dress for job success. Now, look at this beautiful lady. Well, whether it counts or not, I don't know. Viewers may decide. Mm. Then we go to Trotro Palava. This is also a Ghanaian Mara. Mm. Trotro Palava. Trotro being the commonest means of transport for commuters. Oh, I've taken this page off. I've cut this page off. I don't know why. For now, I can't explain. Anyway, but maybe for a good reason. Then school blues, boring, very boring. Until this, okay, this is also a column for the youth, for the young ones. I think it's also helpful. But part of it is off, or the half page is off. So let's see. We now go to the naked face. Maybe also a woman's Mara, the naked face. Whether it's worth reading or not, I don't know. That was page 7. Now we go to page 8. Personality profile. Using TV, radio broadcast to change lives. Prophet Kweku Apreku. Down memory lane. The gallery of Ghanaian celebrities. The picture of Mensa Saba underneath. A Ghanaian renowned personality. I think we shall read it. It's a short story, and I think it's about law. Of course, without law, there is no mankind. Mhm. The first book, one of the first books of God was called Law, as the Law of Moses. I did it last week. Taurat, uh, Old Testament. So I think we'll read the short account of the Honorable John Mensah Saba, a Ghanaian. Now we'll go to Fashion Parade. Sorry, Fashion Panache. Pardon me if I'm not pronouncing it well. It's also for ladies. Yes, it's women who like fashion. I don't know whether they compete. They compete each for each other. They compete with each other, or it's just in their blood. Uh, and that is page 9. We now go to page 10. A ninth, a ninth tingle. A ninth, then tingle, INGL. Sorry, E. You see, I wanted to say Y. I can remember in one of the papers I wanted to spell uh, something. Instead of saying Y, I said E. I cannot remember it. Okay. Then we have seductress. As told to Eric Yemua, Campus Life. Seductress. Probably we'll go there. We'll read it. It happened to me. Nasty jealousy. Then deepest regret. The taboo. The taboo. We have on page 13, that was page 12. We have on page 13, search the scriptures. Okay, yes, it's wonderful. We shall do it because that's what we're doing. So, search the scriptures. We will definitely do it. Written by who? Oh, where is the other? Anyway, we will go there definitely. Then we have on page 14, we have on page 14 notice board adverts. Adverts. They concern advertisements. PMP Sports. Madam Gladys Patterson, Phobia Lady. That's a woman so enthusiastic about football. Hearts Ladies organizer talks to PMP Sports. Who is the best defender? Boxing fans to meet. So it's all about football, and this is a lady who is very much into football, who loves football very much. She may be alive, or her children, or something, or her relations. They will remember her. And that is page 15, or the last page. Oh, I don't know if it's mine that I've eaten this part of the paper. Pardon me. Of course, the last page is also about sports, PMP. Okay, and sports and entertainments. That Lumba poisons Sydney and then influencing entertainment on options for the youth. Aquapiman traps all. So it's also about sports. And that's the picture of that Lumba there. A famous Ghanaian songster. That Lumba. So let's take off to man cuts off tongue for dead wife. I don't know if I can remember that story unless I start reading it. Okay, that story is not on page two. At page two, we have here protecting HIV patients. I think, I think I think it's a subject that has been discussed all over and over again. So we'll leave it. Okay, let's go to meet heart horror. Meet heart horror. Wacky fashion show turns tragic when beer gobbles model's head. When beer gobbles model's hair. A benefit fashion show at a zoo featuring nifty new hats made of real meat. Made of real meat. You see what I meant? Went went horrible. Went horrible. Went horrible of horribly awful. When a model wearing a turkey chapeau br- brands brands too close brands too close to a grizzly bear's cage. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not bear, it's bear. To a hustler bear's cage, and the ferocious greeter beat his head off. Yes, you wear a hat of meat, and you take it to animals or near animals. Hmm? So let me take it out again. Meat horror. Wacky fashion shows turns tragic when bear gobbles model's head. Sometimes I find it difficult to distinguish the pronunciation beer that we drink and then bear. Uh, pardon me, but I think it's bear. Pardon me. So the beer here is an animal, bear, bear. My memory is going off. So more than let's go to second paragraph. Placed too close to a grizzly bear's cage, and the ferocious creature beat his head off. Yes, he wanted the meat. That's what I was saying. Human beings are hungry. Animals are also hungry. Then you are using food as heart. Hmm? Where is our head? Why don't you use something different? Hmm? Okay, more than 3,000 stunned eyewitnesses, including some of Russia's wealthiest philanthropists, entertainers, and fashion industry big shots, gaped in shock and disgust as the 1,500-pound beast pounced on Ignore on Igor Polovic. Yeah, I remember this. I remember the name Igor Polovic, one of the Igor Polonov, one of the Europe's top male models, uh, champ, champion of champion of the foul fedora together with his head. Hey, did he kill him? Let's see. Champion of. The word is champion. Champing. Champion of the foul fedora together with his head. Yes, I remember the word that I spelled wrongly. It was privy. Mhm. Uh, Privy. Then instead of Y, I said Prive. Eh? I had Y in mind, but said E rather than the Y. It happens. So pardon me, those who read that story. I think it's about a few episodes backward. Privy, Privy. I said Sorry, you see, Privy. I said Prive. Mm. I remember that very much. Pardon me for that. So let's take the last part of the sentence again. chomping off the foul fedora together with his head. Yes. Mm. It was the most horrific thing I've ever witnessed, says shaken Russian supermodel Natasha Roskovoi, who was just 12 feet from the bloody scene. The grizzly bear lunged through the bars at Igor, and with one swipe of its huge paw, it grabbed him by the shoulder and pulled him close to its jaws. Then it bit poor Igor's head clean off her, along with that silly hat. Yes, I can't understand human being. I can't understand human being. When they were embarking on this kind of thing, did they think that they were doing something awful or not? Did they think of other people in the world? Were they listening to news around the world? Hmm? Something that human beings cannot get to eat. There are human beings who don't eat meat for long periods of time, maybe months or even year or even a year. You take meat to make heart, this smelly thing. Then you yourself, you are meat. Pardon me to say that. The paper is not. I'm not certain yet if the man died, but maybe viewers can be sure of it. I don't know. It's horrible. You see the pictures of the hearts, heart made meat. Sorry, meat made heart. Sorry, you see the pictures of the meat made hearts. Huh? I know meat has the peculiar scent to animals. Oh my God. So let's see. Let's read on. Specialist in uh, with that silly hat. Zookeepers subdued the rampaging bear. Sorry, I'm calling bear again. The zookeepers subdued the rampaging bear named Boris. Boris Yeltsin. Give me a human name named Boris. Eh? With, with, with a tranquilizer dart, but not before he chewed and swallowed the grizzly trophy. Okay, the grizzly trophy. The animal, one of the most popular at Moscow's famous Golombri, Golombrisky Zoo, and especially beloved by children, had never hurt anyone before. Handlers say, "Oh yes, he didn't handle. He has never manhandled anybody. Eh? But with meat, no, it's an exception. They were all the time. They were not handling meat. Now, if he sees meat on top of a head, oh, of course, this is tantalizing for it. Stupidly tantalizing. Let me say that. Let me say so. Stupidly tantalizing. Uh, let's see. Grizzly trophy. The animal, but not before. But okay. Let's see. Okay, let me take the paragraph again. Zookeepers subdued the rampaging bear named Boris with a tranquilizer dash, but not before the but not before oh what is it? But not before he chewed and swallowed the grizzly trophy. I remember the story. Yes, the animal, one of the most popular at Moscow's Kolonzofi Zoo, and especially beloved by children, had never hurt anyone before. Handlers say the scent of the meat and the scent of the meat and fowl drove him berserk, says zoo manager Oleg Tre- Oleg Tretyakov, full stop. The meat hearts, known as carnivore caps, are in vogue in Russia, and the rich and famous are eagerly sinking their teeth into this fashion trend. It's an example of it's an example of conspicuous consumption, explains fashion critic. Explains fashion critic. I like that. Uh, Ilya Ilya Ivanov. Yes, he should be a good critic. Yeah, critic. Okay, paragraph. In Russia, only the healthy are able to afford meat. Uh-huh. That's what I was saying. This is annoying. Eh? In Russia, only the wealthy are able to afford meat. So wearing a hat made of real meat, especially cat is C-U-T, a choice cat, is a sign you've really made it. So in other words, they are just boasting. They are being vainglorious. Hmm? They're just boasting. Uh, it's a sign you've really made it. Bracket close, that was in brackets. The hats come in variety of styles, including pork pie hats made of pork, made of pork chop. Sorry, pork pie hats made of pork, made of pork chops. Mm. Then deer sticker, deer stalker caps from venison. Then you I can't call this name. Your milk is made of corn, corned beef. Your milk is made of corned beef. Can you imagine that? Eh? Then uh, brisket brewless, comma, hot dog hot dog top hats, comma, uh, 10-gallon, then 10-gallon cowboy hats made of import beef jerky imported from Texas. Look at that. And air flap hats of chickens and turkeys. These people are provoking me. I think they are provoking many people around the world. I bet you. I bet you they are provoking a lot of people around the world. Hmm? You come to Africa, come to some places and see. Small amount of meat, just tiny amount of meat. People are looking for it to put in their soup. They can't get. So you can see a family of maybe five or over. They are only looking for just a tiny bit of fish to put in their soup to make it a bit palatable. They can't get. And you are doing these horrible things. And Nigerian rulers will say, God punish them. God punish their heads. Haba. Oh no. So, where was I? Cowboy hats made of beef jerky imported from Texas, even imported meat, and ear flap hats of chickens and turkeys. Full stop. Next paragraph. The meat is specially cured uh, and lasts for weeks if refrigerated between wearings. Look at that. So you have to do your heart, refrigerate it for some time, and then how? This is madness. I'm sorry to say that. Hmm? Uh, if refrigerated between wearings. Animal rights activists have bitterly criticized the way out fashion trend. Yes, I support them 100%. Eh? Then into brackets, using innocent animals for fur coats and leather shoes is bad enough. The last thing we need is a new way to exploit our fellow creatures, says a spokesperson for the East European Association for Prevention of Animal Cruelty. I love that. I love that. No, why my eyes? Pardon me. Uh, East European Association for the Prevention of Animal Cruelty. Next paragraph. But Maverick, clothing manufacturer uh, Victor Kuzenov, Victor Kuzinov defends his heart. Yes, he will defend it. He's making it for money, cheap money. Defends his heart. We never use endangered animals, he points out, and our approach is environmentally friendly because instead of wearing until until you tire of it and then throwing it in the trash, you can eat it. Still, you can still eat it, still stand by the, you can eat it, bracket close. Still stand by the criticism his company arranged to soon hold a program for the zoo which specializes in endangered animals. I don't buy his argument at all. Whether endangered species or not, using meat as dress is provocative. Period. I don't buy his uh, uh, statements, his reaction. Okay. Specializes in endangered animals. Am I in the right place? At the right place? Sorry, am I at the right place? Okay, still, yeah, that's it. Okay. Paragraph. Precautions were taken to ensure that the show was safe, insists the zoo manager. The models, the models were told not to walk near the animals' cages, particularly the predators, the tigers, wolves, and Kodov bears, says Tre- says Trezeskov. Trezeskov. Uh, full stop. The first half of the 2 hour show went smoothly, according to witnesses. Of course, it won't happen at once. Huh? This is no reasonable sentence. It's not going to happen at once. I'm sorry to say that. Okay. Then the hearts were a big hit, especially the chicken teriyaki beret. I model the chicken teriyaki beret I model. It has nothing to do except modeling such things. I don't know what sort of brain people have. It got a standing ovation, Natasha, says Natasha, who went on just before just before Igor. Then, inverted commas, you just had to be a bit careful as you walked because you just had to be a bit careful as you walked because there wasn't much space between the audience sitting area and the cages. This is a risky show. Hmm? Very risky show event. Okay. Flamboyant catwalk king Igor apparently wasn't quite careful enough. Hmm. Paragraph. Strutting. Igor was strutting around, doing doing what is this? doing pirouettes, taking taking bows, showing off as usual. Uh, inverted commas close. She recalls. He stepped near the cage, and before anyone could warn him, Boris went after him, and suddenly blood was everywhere. I've never, I've never forget how. Sorry, I'll never forget how Igor's headless. Oh, I'll never forget how Igor's headless body. Oh, held his held his last pulse for a moment before toppling over. Before toppling over, it's very sad. There was complete chaos. Men were throwing up, and women fainted. It's very sad, but it's a good lesson for people. Hmm? Somehow, the animal should have been given a trophy. They provoked it. So the animal rights activists are very right. I sitting here, I'm angered. I'm sorry to say that. How do you do that? It's a stupid thing. There's no sense in it. Hmm? Using meat as a show in the zoo, not anywhere but in the zoo. A wise man shouldn't even go near a zoo. I don't know. Pardon me for getting so upset. Hmm? Uh, let's see. Let's see if you can read this story. Hmm. I just ate your grandma. This is cannibalism. Cannibal grave robbers. Listen, cannibal grave robbers who snatch corpses to feed their gruesome habits are terrifying villagers and law enforcement officials in three south, southwest Indian towns. Can you hear that? Mm. Dozens of freshly buried corpses have been unearthed only to be roasted. Can you hear that? Oh my God. I don't know. I don't know whether sad or laughable. Not laughable anyway. Dozens of freshly buried corpses have been unearthed only to be roasted, dismembered, and cut into precise 3-ounce portions to be devoured by, by Banabeti Kals in nude puja rituals, which the friends believe will help them find hidden riches. Hmm. This primitive. In this century, in this century, 21st century, riches. Let's see. Okay. In a recent case, in the town of Hyderabad, the body of a 6-year-old girl was dug up less than a day after her burial, and the graveyard's watchman was arrested after confessing that he was he was the culprit. Mhm. He was later declared insane, but refused to say what had become of the young girl's corpse. Of course, in the belly. Of course, in the belly. Oh my God. Uh, what has become of the young girl's corpse? Okay. According to one former Banamatis follower who now specializes in exorcising cult members, the bodies are snatched handily. Sorry. The bodies are snatched in inverted commas, hardly an hour, yes, inverted commas, hardly an hour after a fresh grief. So in other words, they are looking for people just who have just been buried. As soon as the mourners leave, oh, they converge at the site and start digging. Hmm? Okay. Uh, Snatch hardly an hour from a fresh grave, and the grave is quickly filled in, making the vile crime hard to detect. I don't know. Okay. The bizarre belief also includes a blending of freshly dead human flesh and tissue with vermilion, lime, spices to form a sticky, sweet smelling incense to burn during the during the ceremonies. Since inverted commas close. Uh, since the cannibal turned exorcist. It's disgusting. Okay. Uh, the scent is believed to draw the soul of the dead to the ceremony. The soul occupies the body of the priest performing the puja and leads the followers to the treasure. I tell you, it still happens. Today, this thing is happening. Today, this thing is happening. People believe in all kinds of stupid ideas. Mm. I won't hide it. Okay, let me finish the story before. If there is some I can, but there isn't much time. Uh, the scent is believed to draw the soul of the dead to the ceremony. The soul occupies the body of the priest performing the puja and leads the followers to the treasure. The 40-day ritual takes place in the nude. Can you imagine that? In the nude, and only in secluded areas, usually usually in a rented house, and starts on a new moon that must begin on a Sunday. To ensure success, the followers must eat 3-ounce packages of roasted human flesh. Full stop. If anyone fails in the first attempt, another 40-day puja, another 40-day puja is held. Puja is held. Puja is spelled Puja. Another 40-day puja is held. This time with a larger portion, usually 7 pounds of flesh. Look at that. That means you must start it while you are hungry. Mm. Uh, if a fresh corpse cannot be obtained, young women and girls are kidnapped and sacrificed in horrific rituals made all the more grotesque. Made sorry, made all the more grotesque because the majority of Barabati followers are believed to be women themselves. Recently, the girls aged 5 to, okay, we'll soon finish, aged 5 to 9 were rescued by the police in Kaukudia, uh, uh, what do you call it? A halted of, sorry, it's an old paper and the reading is very, very difficult. And the halted Barabati belief just as oiled, their dragged oil bodies were being ready for ritual sacrifice and butchering. Oh, it's not uncommon It's not uncommon for horrified villagers who discover or even suspect that Banamati rituals are being performed in their oh, in their midst to kill the alleged witches or burn their homes and drive them into exile. Viewers, I think we should stop here and continue in our next video. Mm. It's a bit difficult to read. I will certainly continue, God willing. Thank you very much. Bye bye.